All right. Welcome back to the channel. Alex here. I help people make money in the car rental space. Okay. So today we're going to talk about car rentals 101. I'm going to do a full breakdown of how to make money in the economy car game. Okay. I'm going to go through different business models. I'm going to talk about the numbers specifically so that we can focus on how much we're actually going to make, so that people understand how much actually going to make, how much, how we're actually going to get to profitability. Because the truth is, a lot of people in the car rental space are not profitable, and they're not profitable because they don't understand one concept that I'm going to explain in this video, and I'm going to show y'all, the people that are watching today, how you can actually be profitable in this game, because that's where the money actually is. Okay, so without any further delay, let's get right into the video. Okay, cool. Profitability, why this matters. So what I mean by profitability is when you purchase a vehicle, right? You purchase a car, whatever car it is, you finance, you buy cash. How long does it take you to make your money back? You don't become profitable until you've made all your money back. Okay, this is very simple concept, but a lot of the times in this space it goes over people's heads. People don't understand that you actually have to make your money back first before you're profitable. And it matters because you can't start counting the money that you're making as your money until you've made 100% of what you've put up front if you paid cash, or 100% of what you've paid off as finance. So if you finance a car for $20,000, how long is it going to take you to make your $20,000 back first, right? Before you're actually profitable after that. If you don't make your money back, you're never profitable. And the truth is, most people in the car rental space are never actually profitable because they're making the mistake when they're buying the cars. Okay, so it's important that you buy the cars right. Very similar to real estate, the money is made when you buy, not when you sell, not when you rent. The money is made when you buy. Okay, so in this live, I'm going to break down the examples of three main niches in the economy car space, and then I'm going to show you what the numbers actually look like to become profitable. And up until you become profitable, it won't really matter. Okay, so if you're not profitable, it doesn't matter. All right, so I'm just being straightforward. If you're not profitable, it doesn't matter. Okay, and a lot of y'all watching are gonna see that a lot of you are not actually profitable. Okay, and I'll show you what to do if you are in that situation, if you've not become profitable yet. All right, so I'm gonna break down the three main niches in the economy car space, and the main thing here we're gonna focus is becoming profitable, making all our money back first before everything after that we count as profit. Okay, so all right, we're gonna get right into it. Let me put my phone on D&D because it's going off. All right, cool. So let's get right into it. Boom. Business model. So I'm going to talk about the three main business models in the economy car space. Okay, and the reason why it matters to have a business model first, and I break down these three, is so that you guys choose from one of these three, whichever one you want to do. And then we're going to break down how to be profitable in each of these business models. All right, so starting with my favorite one, which is the gig economy. Okay, this is what I do. I rent cars out specifically to gig economy workers. So these are Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, DoorDash. It doesn't end there. You have Amazon Flex. You have Roadie. There's a mirage of platforms out there that provides delivery services, right? And then they outsource the actual delivery of the packages, whether it's food, whether it's people, whatever it is, to drivers. Okay, and these people will have an opportunity to make a living, right, delivering these services. It's convenience, right? We live in a convenience economy. We live in a I want it now economy. Okay, so people who dedicate their time to delivering for these services earn a lot of money. Okay, they can make anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 a week. A lot of people don't even know that. Okay, so, and I know this because I've done it. I've driven for Uber, I've driven for Lyft, I've driven for DoorDash. Okay, Uber Eats. So you can make a lot of money on these platforms if you understand what you're doing. So gig economy is a great platform. The demand in this niche is very big. Okay, there's a big demand in this niche. The demand in the transportation business in general is massive. Okay, but in this niche specifically, a lot of people want cars specifically to drive on these platforms. Okay, so this is one niche that you can tailor to. Okay, the second niche, you have travelers and nurses. People don't even know this. Okay, nurses travel in and out of cities, states for jobs. They need transportation. They need a way to get to work. Okay, then you have travelers, people who come travel to different cities, whether it's for visiting family, whether it's for leisure, whether it's for business. Okay, you can tailor to these customers, to these people, and provide car rental services to them. And I'm going to show you what it's going to look like if you want to pick this niche and how to actually be profitable. Okay, I'm putting emphasis on profitability in this live because a lot of people in business in the car rental space are not actually profitable. And the reason why is because they're buying their cars wrong. So this is a niche that you can tailor to. And then you have black SUVs. Now I picked this one specifically um, because people don't talk about this a lot. It's kind of like a hidden niche. Um, you can make a killing in the black SUV space. So you have like Cadillac Escalade, Chevy Tahoes, right? These type of vehicles, these are luxury SUV cars that has high demand because you have government officials that want them. People that typically want to have like some kind of presidential suite, they want them. You have business owners, right, that want bigger cars where they can work in. Okay, they want these cars. So black SUVs are a really good niche. And I'll break down what it's going to look like if you are going to take on this niche as well. Now, what I can say is my main experience comes from the gig economy, so I can tell you exactly what the gig economy does, what it looks like. All right, so that we can get right into that. So we're going to talk about the numbers. Okay, we're going to talk about the actual numbers and where profitability actually happens when you get into the car rental game, depending on your niche. Okay, so starting with gig economy. All right, this slide is just going to be me just breaking down the numbers. All right, so let's get into the numbers. All right, so most people are renting their cars for like, let's say 350 a week. I always want to go conservative. I personally do between 400 and 450, but just to be conservative, we're going to say you're renting your car for 350 a week. Okay, so 350 a week times 4 weeks. So you're looking at $1,400 a month. All right, so $1,400 a month. Okay, you know you're getting $1,400 a month for a car. And the reason why we can actually go 30 for 30, we can say this car, this niche, the car will stay out the entire 30 days. It's because we know that these people are using our cars for work. They need the cars to make money, so they will keep the cars. Okay, once you find someone that is using the car for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, they will keep your cars, bro. I have multiple 6 to 9 month rentals currently. Okay, I have one that's almost 2 years. They will keep your cars and they pay you consistently. If they know what they're doing, they will make way more money than whatever they're paying you. 350 a week. If they're making $1,500 or $2,000 a week, that's nothing. All right, that's nothing to them. Okay, so it's very important that you understand the number here. And let me how do I make this a little slimmer? I'm not really sure, but okay, whatever. Let's get right into it. Okay, so we know that. All right, cool. We could make $1,400 a month from one car. Now, this is the part where a lot of people mess up. Okay, so what they say is, oh, $1,400 a month. That's a lot of money. If I go finance a car for 20K and my monthly note is $400, that means I get to keep $1,000. But you're not profitable. You have to be profitable. You're only profitable after you've made the amount of money that you either paid for the car or you finance on the car. So if you finance $20,000 on the car, let me X this out. If you finance $20,000 on the car, you're not profitable until you've made $20,000. How long is it going to take you to make $20,000 if you're doing $1,400 a week? It's probably going to take you 10 months. It's 14K. So it's going to take you more than a year before you become profitable. Okay. But what we understand is, let's say we specifically want to be profitable in 3 months. Well, all we have to do is multiply this by 3, right? We multiply this by 3, and then we get, that's what's that? 4,200. 4,200. Okay, so $4,200. If we want to be profitable after 3 months, we need to buy the car at this price, not any other price. If we buy the car for more than this, right, it takes us longer to make 100% of our money back. And then everything after is profit. So I'm only looking at purely from a revenue standpoint, how much money we're making back as revenue. Okay. So this is where people are not understanding, and that's why I'm telling you guys, buy your cars for under $5,000. Because if you if you want to be, and the quicker you're profitable, right, the better, right? It is very simple in business. So if you're not profitable in a short period of time, you're just making money, and sure, the money is going in your pocket, but you're not keeping it. So if you buy the car for $20,000 and let's say you've made $5,000 in 4 months, well, you still owe X amount of money on the loan. So you still have that loan. So that money technically is still not yours. You still need to pay off the loan. But if you are able to buy the car here after 3 months, even if you take a loan for 4K, after 3 months, you can pay that loan off. And then everything after that is actually profitable, it's actually your money. Okay. So in this gig economy, we know that, okay, we'll go 30 out of 30 days easily. We'll go the full 4 weeks. We'll get our 1,400, and this is being conservative, right? We'll get our full 1,400. So for us to be profitable after 3 months, we can buy the car for 4,200. Now, it's actually possible to be profitable faster than that if you buy the cars for less than that. So if you want to be profitable after 2 months, and this is going to be a harder skill. I don't know how to remove this. Let me see. Eraser. Okay, that's not it. Is it this? Eraser. Okay, let's see. Okay, we'll just do this. Okay, so if we want to be profitable faster, let's say we want to be profitable after 2 months. It's very simple math, right? It's a simple formula. So we just take what we have, boom. We take what we have, we multiply it by 2, and then what do we get? 2,800. Right now, this may be a stretch. It's going to be very difficult to find a quality car for $2,800. But if you can, you're profitable after 2 months. Okay, so you made your money back after 2 months, and everything else is yours. Okay, so even if you're going the financing route, instead of going to get an auto loan where you have to basically get the car $10,000 or over, you can go get a personal loan, get the cash in your bank account, and then go buy the cars at whatever price that you want to be profitable at. Okay, so this is the gig economy space where the cars will go out for 4 weeks, basically as soon as it goes. Okay, so what I want you guys to understand is that don't fall into like, oh, I'm financing cars and I'm making revenue, so I'm making money. Well, you still have a loan. Okay, you still have a loan you have to pay. You still have a loan you have to pay off before you're actually profitable after you've paid off the loan. Okay, so if you haven't paid off the loan, you're not profitable. All right, it's really as simple as that. So that's the gig economy, and I want you guys to see that. All right, so for me, what I tell you guys, for me, when I'm buying my cars, I try to be profitable after 3 months. All right, if it's more than 3 months, it's too long for me, so I try to stay away. If it's longer than 3 months, it's too long for me. Okay, I'll do 4 months max, depending on the car. And the beautiful part about this gig economy space, guys, is the drivers don't care about the year. They don't care about the mileage. So a lot of people are going to be like nervous. Oh, like the car has too many miles. Well, is it a reliable car? Because if it's a reliable car, it doesn't matter how many miles are on it. All right, it doesn't matter how many miles are on it if the car is reliable. So you just need to figure out, how can I get reliable brands? All right, how can I get reliable brands that a car will last me longer than 3 months until I'm profitable, and then once I'm profitable, 4,200. That's the magic number, right? That 3 month mark. Once I'm profitable, how long is the car going to stay on the road until I can make 2x my money, 3x my money? If you do it this way, if the car lasts 1 year, okay, if the car lasts, that's 4. You multiply this by 4, so you paid your money back. All right, and there's no way I can do this off the top of my head. So let me see here. Let me grab a calculator, or somebody can drop it in the comments if you guys want to drop the number 4,200 times 4, whatever that number is. That's how much you make, right? And then you subtract the 4,200, and then everything else is actually for you. That's your profits. Okay. So that's how I want y'all to understand and to actually run the numbers. Okay, so that's gig economy. Now let's get into travelers and travel nurses. Now this is a very interesting niche, right? Because on average, travel nurses typically are on assignment for anywhere from 2 to 6 months, typically on average. Okay, so if we're doing the numbers, we can, if we're using nurses specifically, we can pretty much run the same numbers, right, as the gig economy, because we know that the car will stay out for 30 out of 30 days once we get a nurse in it, because we know that the car will stay rented for at least 2 months. Makes sense? So that's what I want you guys to like think about. But now travelers is a little bit different. Okay. Travelers, they typically do weekend rentals, daily rentals, that kind of thing. So if you have someone that's doing daily rental, right? Let's say you have, what's like a good car? Honda Accord. Let's say you have a 2018 Honda Accord. Let's say it rents for $100 a day. I'm being generous here, but $100 per day on average, right? The average monthly utilization is about 15 days. So 15 days. So that means in a month you've made $1,500. Okay, so $100 a day, 15 days, $1,500. Very simple. Cool. Now you've made $1,500. You want to be profitable. You're like, okay, how do I know what price to buy my car at? Well, how fast do you want to be profitable? If you want to use that 3 month mark, what do we have yet? That's 15. So you're looking at $4,500. You know you need to buy the car at this price, $4,500, to be profitable after 3 months. Now, I did throughout this live, I will show you guys how to actually buy the cars. About $4,500, you can get a pretty good car for $4,500. That's the truth. You can get a pretty good car for $4,500, and I'll show you how to do that at the end of this live. Okay, so stay with me. But if you're using travelers, you're doing daily rentals. Well, you're probably averaging 15 days a month. If you rent at $100, that means you have $4,500 after 3 months. So you should be buying your cars here. I promise you, 90% of people are not doing that. I promise you, 90% of people are not doing that. They're not doing that because they don't actually understand like how we're actually making money in the car rental space. Because if you are not buying your cars here, it doesn't matter how much money you're making. You're not profitable until you've made the money back in the loan that you collected or at the price that you paid for the car. Okay, that's just the truth. All right. So I want y'all to understand that. Okay, it is a very simple concept, but a lot of people just simply don't understand that concept. All right. Now, if you're doing travel nurses, I would say resort back to this. Okay, if you're renting the car for them for $350 a week, 4 weeks out of the month, right? You're pretty much doing 30 out of 30 days. You can buy your cars here after 3 months at $4,200. Okay, now it's going to be tougher with travel nurses and travelers because they may care about the car's year. So you need to find a pretty good car, as new as possible at this price. I wouldn't care about the miles either. Most renters don't care about the miles as long as the car is reliable, the car doesn't give issues, and the car stays on the road. Okay, so this is what I want y'all to understand. Now let's get into the next part. The next part is a little bit more tricky. And give me a second here, guys. I think my battery is going, and I want to stay live. So let's see. Cool. Cool. Back. All right. Cool. Now let's talk about black SUVs. So the black SUVs is a very interesting niche. Okay. This falls technically under daily rentals as well. Okay. So if you're doing black SUVs, this is a good niche, but it's a hard niche because you have to basically resort to the fact that it will take you longer to make your money back. It just will. Because if you're looking at cars like Escalades, Chevy Tahoes, Suburbans, expeditions, right? These cars probably start even at the lowest of the depreciation curve at about $10,000, right? So that's just the reality. But you can also charge a lot more. You can charge a lot more, guys. You can charge a lot more. When I say a lot more, you can charge double what you would charge on a regular economy car rental. So, for example, the base price I see, and I'm going to be conservative, just so that you guys understand that, right? At the very minimum, this is what will happen. So the base price I see is about $600 a week. Okay, same thing here. I'll say $600 a week for this car, for these type of rentals. And with this type of rental, you can get 30 out of 30 days. You know why? Because we have Uber drivers that drive for Uber Black. We have Lyft drivers that drive for Lyft Black. And on top of that, you have people that specialize in black black drivers, special like a truck driver, right? Just like how there's truck drivers, there are people that specifically drive just for black. Okay, and they have their own private company, or they do it as a 1099 contractor, whatever the case is, and they do private rides. And they will pick up your cars. They will do it. They will pick up your cars. They will give you $600 a week. They'll do it 4 weeks out of the month. And what does that come out to? That's 6 4 is what, 12? Was that 2,200? That's 2,200. Okay, $2,200 a month. I'm telling you, you will get this with these cars, 100%. Okay, so you're doing $2,200 a month with these cars. Okay, so now let's see if we can do our magic three month mark. Okay, so 3 months, you're looking at 6,600. Now, I'll be honest, it might be tough to get the car at this price. It's just going to be, okay, especially for those type of cars. So we have to basically accept the fact that we probably are not going to make our money back in 3 months, right? We probably won't, right? It might take us double the amount of time to make our money back. It might take us 6 months to make our money back. Okay, so 6 months. So we'll do 6 months. Whoops. It would be nice if this worked. Okay, switch to black. Okay, so it might take us 6 months. I don't know what's going on with this. Okay, there it is. It might take us 6 months to make our money back. Right, so 6 to 12. So we're looking at like what? Uh, 1,200, $12,000. Is it $12,000? Yeah, about $12,000. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I might have the math wrong. Let me do it on my phone real quick. So $2,200 a month times 6 months, $1,300. So we're looking at like $1,300. $1,300. Here, let me erase that so it looks cleaner. We're looking at about $1,300. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, this is giving me a hard time, isn't it? Oh, it is giving me a hard time. But I think you guys get the point, right? We're looking at $13,000. Sorry. So we're looking at $13,000 that we're all in on this car. I still think that's awesome. So $13,000, you get a pretty good black truck. You get a pretty good black truck for that. You get a pretty decent year, right? And you'll be able to get a good car for that, and you'll be profitable after 6 months. Okay, and like I said, you make more money. Okay, so you're making almost double what you would make with a regular economy car. It does take you a little bit longer to be profitable, but think about it. Once you're profitable, you're basically keeping $2,200 a month. So this niche is worth it, 100%. Okay, this niche is 100% worth it. it takes a little bit more money to get into it, but once you're in it, it takes a little bit more to be profitable. But once you're profitable, you're making a lot of money. Okay, and this is base $600. I see people rent these for 700, for 750. Okay, so this niche is 100% worth it. A lot of people don't know about this niche. Everybody talks about gig economy. Nobody talks about the black SUVs. Okay, so these three main niches in the economy car space specifically, they work well, right? They work very well, but it's understanding profitability. All right, ladies and gentlemen, understand, okay, where do I actually start making money? It's not when you rent the car. It's when you've made 100% return on the money that you put in. So if you finance the car through an auto loan, it's when you make the money after you've made all that money in the finance. Okay. If you buy the car with cash, it's when you get all your money back after paying cash. All right. So this is where understanding profitability actually matters. And if I promise you, if you do it this way, you'll scale so much faster. You you close your eyes, and in 6 months you will pick up a whole bunch of cars, and it will feel easier. You have less stress because you have less loans. You're making your money back faster. You're buying cars at better price, so you can buy more cars because you're buying them cheaper, right? And then you can build an actual business out of it, and then everything will run smoothly. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys these three specifically, the numbers behind these three, what price to actually be buying your cars at, right? So for travelers and nurses, buy your cars at 4,005. For gig economy, buy your cars at 4,002, right, to be profitable after 3 months. And then for the black SUVs, buy your cars at $13,000 to be profitable after 6 months. If you can do it for lower, even better. If you can do it for lower, even better. Okay, and then make sure you're buying reliable vehicles. All right. So those three, I want you guys to see that. Now, I can yap on about the gig economy car space so much because it takes very little money to start, $4,200, right? If you don't have that, you can pick up a personal loan. Personal loans are easy to get approved for. Most people can get a personal loan quite easily at the bank that they already have bank accounts at. Um, you can make your money back in 3 months, right? You can make your money back in 3 months and then go buy another car. So if you think about it, you can buy a car every 3 months. And then after a year, you can buy 2 cars every 3 months. After 2 years, you can buy 3 cars every 3 months. And then by the time you realize you have 50 cars and you're making 100K a month. Okay. So the gig economy space is really good. Now let's talk about where to buy cars specifically. Okay. So I'm gonna take this down, and then let's see if you guys can see this. Okay. Because a lot of people come to me and they're worried about buying cars for that cheap price because they think that they won't find a quality car. They think that uh you know buying a car on Facebook Marketplace, you can only find salvage title cars at that price, and it's actually not true. And I'm going to show y'all live. I'm doing this live. Okay, so I don't know what we're going to find, but I'm going to show y'all live on right here right now how you can actually buy the cars. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here, and then we're going to go on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm going to show y'all how I find these cars. Okay, screen's here. Cool. All right, cool. So now I'm on Marketplace. All right, Marketplace. You go to the vehicle, you click on vehicles, and this is what I do. The first thing I would filter for is I would actually price a little bit higher. So if I want to buy a car for 4,002, I can price it at $6,000. The reason why I can find cars at $6,000 is because I'm gonna negotiate. I'm gonna negotiate them down all the way down to the price I want to buy it at, and I'll be able to do that. And I'll show you how. Now, sometimes I'll put a cap on the year. Depends. If I'm looking for a car for DoorDash, I don't care about the year. Now, for Uber or Lyft, I don't want to go past 2013, just because after that they start requiring inspections every 6 months. I just know this because I've been doing this for that long. They'll start requiring inspections every 6 months, and it's a pain. So for me, if I can get something newer, I'll get something newer. So let's make it hard. Okay, let's say 2013 or higher, and then for me, I buy only certain brands. So I'll go into the make. I don't care about the mileage. I'll only buy certain brands. So I'll go into the make, and my three main brands are Ford Fusion 2.5 liter, Hondas or Toyotas. So for me, in my market, it's easy for me to find a Honda over a Toyota for the price I want. So I'll go straight to Honda. So let's see here. I think I went past it. I'll find Honda. I'll click on Honda. Cool. Now I can go find Hondas for $6,000 for the year 2013. And then Facebook will actually show me all the Hondas that are listed for that price. Here's the first one that came up, a Honda 2014 Honda Odyssey. And just so y'all can see, it doesn't make me open a new tab. Okay, just so y'all, we can actually look at the description to see if this is a running car, if this is a clean title, what's going on with the car, why are they selling it, right? Clean title, family van, no issues, drives perfect, V6, reliable, backup camera, and he has a video. So one of the things I look for is, do they have a video? If the person doesn't have a video, I don't really trust it. And on top of that, I got to drive there. So I wouldn't just drive to somewhere I don't really know what the car is going to look like or what's going to be going on with the car. He has a video with the dash lights that you guys just saw. So I can tell, okay, at least there's no lights on the dash. He has a whole bunch of pictures, which is really good. Okay. The car looks to be in good physical condition. Okay, so that's fine. That checks out. The inside looks okay. We can always detail the inside, so we don't worry too much about it. He even put an OBD scanner here, reader, right? So we've just found one, a Honda Odyssey, just like that, off rip. And then once you find this, I usually will make a list. I wouldn't take this VIN number here seriously. I would just make a list of the car. I would send this guy a message. Hey, the first thing I would do is I would try to negotiate. Would you take 3,005? Right? Because I'm going to send a whole bunch of messages. So I just need one person who will give me the price I want. Right? If I can see that he might come up to 4,000. Okay, cool. Now I know at the very maximum, I'm paying $4,000 for this car. At the very maximum. Okay. So that's one we just found. I'll make a list of that and I'll keep going. Okay, where can I find another one? Here's a 2013 Honda Pilot. Okay, here's another one. And then we can look at the description, right? He's saying that the check engine light is on, so we'll skip this one. And then we keep going. Okay, so here's a Honda Accord. Actually, I think I've seen this Accord before. Here's another Accord for 4,005. He has a video, so that's a good sign. It runs well. So it needs a replacement. Cool. Now we go to the next one. All right. So I'll keep going until I find the cars that I want. Okay. I think you guys get the point. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna come across some bad cars, but the point here is to keep going until you find the cars that you want. Okay. And I found one just off the rip. Cool. And then you'll probably find maybe 2 or 3 more just for Hondas. And then you repeat the same process. Right. Here's another one. Clean title, test drive before buying, backup camera, whatever. So that's 2 right there that we just found. Okay. And I'll repeat the same process for Toyota. I'll repeat the same process for Ford Fusion 2.5 liters. Okay. And then those are my cars that I just found for my gig economy. All right. And this process will work. Okay. So this is how you find your cars. I don't trust, a lot of people go to auction. I don't trust the Mannheim auction. Just because you can't test drive the car, there's no way for you to really know the condition of the car until you test drive it. Okay. So we just found a couple cars right there, right, for the price range that we want. Cool. Now, what to look for? All right, just like how I just showed you, you want to look for videos. You want to go see the cars running, no engine lights. You want to make sure that everything is there. And then the most important thing is you want to be able to take a mobile mechanic with you. If you don't have good mechanical experience with cars, take a mobile mechanic with you. That way, anything that happens, the mechanic can tell you what's wrong with the car, and you can either negotiate it if it's a minor issue, or you can straight up deny buying the car if it's a major issue, right? It might cost you an extra $200 to take a mobile mechanic, right? If you offer to pay for their gas and to give them $200, most of them won't do it. Um, but you save thousands of dollars from buying a bad car, and the biggest way to lose money is buying bad cars. Okay. Now, you guys just saw the numbers. Now let's look at how we're gonna scale. Okay. Cool. So we've just gone through the entire presentation. I've showed you guys how to actually be profitable. Okay. So I'm gonna show you how to scale to six figures and show you how much money you actually need. You want to make $100,000 a year. Okay. We know that if you're doing gig economy, one car is $1,400 a month. Okay, so one car will bring in $1,400 a month. Okay, and you want to make 100K a year. The price of one car should cost you $4,200. If you take 100,000, you divide 1,400. 100,000, and I'm using my calculator here, divided by 1,400 gives you, did I do that right? Let me see. Hold on. So we know one car will bring 14. We know that 100,000 divided by 12 is what I should do first to see how much you need to make every month. So 100,000 divided by 12 is 8,300, right? 8,300. So 8,300. So we divide this by 12. Excuse my math here. I'm kind of doing this on the fly. So 8,000, it says 8,333, whatever. Okay. And then we divide 8,333 by 1,400. That's 5 cars. Okay. So we take that, divide this by 1,400. It says 5.9. We'll round to 6. Okay. So we know we need 6 cars. Now let's double check the math here to make sure it's correct. So if one car brings $1,400, how many does 6 car bring? So we just take 1,400. We multiply that by 6. That's $8,400. That checks out. $8,400 for 12 months straight brings us here at 100K. We know that it costs us $4,200 to buy one car. We multiply that by 6. How much is that? 4,200 times 6. We need 25K. We need 25K of money to make 6 figures a year in this car rental business. That's all we need. Most people will go get a 25K auto loan. Why? You can only make $1,400 with a 25K auto loan. If you get a 25K personal loan, you can go buy 6 cars and make 100K a year. This is how you scale. Okay, so 25K, 6 cars, 100K a year. You can make 6 figures pretty easily, right? Most people can qualify for a 25K loan. Okay, most people can. Some people might have 25K cash. Okay, and you can run the business and make 100K a year in revenue with $25,000 up front. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys this so that you understand how to actually be profitable. Okay, how to actually make money in the business. All right, that's really the end of my presentation. I'm gonna open up the live to questions. I know there's a few of you in here, so feel free to drop your questions. My light went out, so that's why I kind of got a little bit dark. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat. I think the end of the slide here. Oh yeah, so the Facebook group. We do have a Facebook community. I think most of you might already be in the Facebook community. If you aren't in the Facebook community already, if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and join the Facebook community. The link is in the description. The link is also in my bio on YouTube. And then you can join the Facebook community. But that's really it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the presentation. I want you guys to see this. All the people in my Facebook group, I want you guys to actually do this the correct way, and you'll make a lot of money. Don't fall for auto loan. There's a lot of nightmares in the car rental space. Okay, there is. A lot of people in nightmare scenarios, they're financing cars, they have too high monthly payments, they're not making enough money because they're not niching down, they don't understand picking a niche, right? They're not doing it the right way. They're not doing their risk management the right way. Their cars are getting stolen. They're getting denied on insurance. Like it's gonna be a real nightmare. Like it's gonna get real scary if you don't do this correctly. Okay, so that's why I'm here. That's why I'm showing you guys how to do this correctly, so that you can actually make money. Okay, so that you can actually be profitable. All right. It took me. I've been in this game for 3 years. Okay, the first 2 years was just me learning how to actually be profitable, and then once I figured out that I shouldn't be using auto loans. Okay, I got rid of all of them. I had one car with the auto loan that I wasn't able to get rid of because I ended up with $7,000 in negative equity. Okay, that's insane. Imagine having that $7,000 in negative equity on 6 other cars. I had 6 cars that was financed with auto loans. All right, that's scary. Okay, I don't want anybody in that position. Luckily, I was able to figure it out and get out of most of it. I couldn't get out of that last one because it was too high. Okay, a lot of people doing this business are in that situation and worse. Okay, if you have mid luxury cars, like that's not really a niche. Okay, you're not gonna have enough consistent revenue to even be able to fit. If we did mid luxury, people that are renting their cars for $50 a day, like that's not a niche. You can't make money. You won't have enough clients. Your cars are gonna be too expensive. You will never be profitable. Okay, so this I want you guys to see that. I want you guys to understand that. It's important to actually be to understand how to actually do this correctly. All right. I'm gonna leave open everything up to questions. So feel free to drop your questions in the comments. Um, and then I'll go straight to the comments from here. So let me see. My guy Kevin says, "Do you include insurance with your rideshare rentals?" Yes, I do. So I try to make it as easy as possible for my renters by including everything in a package. What I notice is even if you charge more, I promise you, if you're charging 350 a week right now, you include insurance and you charge 450 a week, they'll pay it. They'll pay it because you're making it convenient. People pay for convenience. Okay? So make it include everything in your rental. Even if you're doing daily rentals with for travelers, include it. Make it very easy and simple for them. All right? That's a good question. That's a good question. And yeah, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Um we're live, we're here. I appreciate you guys for joining. Some of you guys are here every week, and that's amazing. That's awesome. I know last week was a bit of a wash for me. It was a crazy week, so I couldn't really do a an actual live. So I just did a quick presentation type thing and was like 15 minutes and I left. But um yeah, I'm glad I was able to make it back this week. So hopefully you guys are finding value in the content because that's what I'm really here for. I'm really here to like drop as much game as possible so that if I save one person from a bad auto loan, like I'm happy. Like I'm very happy if I save one person from a bad auto loan. If I save one person from going bankrupt, because a lot of people go bankrupt. It's business is scary, okay? It is. It just is. But if you have the right mentor, you have the right community, you have the right information, it's actually easy. It's actually a breeze. Okay. It gives you clarity, it gives you a straight path that you can just take. You don't have to really think much because somebody has already done this, somebody's already struggled, right? So that you don't have to. Okay. So it's important that y'all understand that. Um, but yeah, good question. Um, yes, sir. I appreciate you as well. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. My guy, I think my guy Ollie's in here. Can you do a video on how to set up contactless check-in and checkout process? Yeah. Okay. I'll do a video on I'll do more videos of me in the field because I haven't done many of that so that you guys can see how I actually run things. I have different processes for contactless check-in and checkout. The most important thing with that, if you're doing private rentals, is you want to make sure that all your verification is like airtight, and then you because you I wouldn't be comfortable not being there if like I'm not really sure everything is airtight. Okay, so just make sure your process is airtight if you want to do contactless. But yeah, I do contactless sometimes when I travel, or when I'm not around. My team knows our process for it, so I'll show you guys what my process is if you want to do that. Um, what I will say is try to meet as many customers as possible, because I've noticed that there's a difference when you meet them versus when it's just contactless. Um, but one of the things that we do is we will call them when they get to the location, where my team will call them, and then they'll stay on the phone with them and walk them through the process for contactless check-in and check-out. That seems to also help. Okay, that way they're they know that there's somebody there. You don't want to just do it over text. I think that's a bit too obscure, and they won't really feel, if there's no human there, they may not feel the need to pay on time and things like that. It might cause a headache later on. But if they know that there's somebody there, if they know that when they need help, when something's wrong, they can call. There's somebody that will pick up the phone. Um, that kind of helps a bit with the interaction, right? How positive the interaction is. So I'll make a video on that for sure. Appreciate that. My guy Kevin says thank you so much. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, feel free to drop any questions on this live specifically. My mic also went out middle of the stream. Any questions on this live specifically, um also drop that in there, um and then I'll answer it. I got Ollie Max says, should I start out doing contactless check-in? I would start out doing it in person, yes. I would start out doing it in person, just so it will kind of help you first meet your customers. They can put a face to the business. Um, and there's a trick to it too. So when you meet them, for me, I am as professional as possible. I'll take a folder. I'll wear like business casual attire. Um, right. That way they can feel that the business is professional. That's one. If you aren't gonna do that, definitely put somebody on their phone in their ear when they're there, and that person should sound as professional as possible, so that they feel the business is professional, so that they don't think, oh, this is just a car I'm just picking up in some place with nobody I've met. That's the last thing you want. Okay. So yeah, I would start out by doing that, and it will help you as the business owner understand your own process, so that you can train. You can you also understand the exact check-in checkout process, so that if you want to train contactless, you know how to train contactless. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult for you to train contactless if you don't know how people like what people do when they get there. Most of the time, they get there, they're even confused. Like they don't know what to do. They want to start the car first. They want to look around, right? So we tell them, hey, okay, once you're at the car, feel free to look around. Um, we'll unlock the door for you. We unlock the door for them. Feel free to look inside the car, right? And then, all right, cool. Feel free to start the car. Like we walk them through that, because I know that when people get there, they panic a little bit. They feel a little bit uncomfortable. That way it's smooth. So, well, I'll make a video on that and then show you that my process. But when you're starting out, bro, please meet your customers. Please do. That's a good question. Any other questions? Anyone else? I think we just hit about 50 minutes on the live. Um, feel free to drop your questions regarding this live specifically. How many people have? I'm kind of curious. How many people have auto loans? Um, I just told y'all I had six. I got rid of five. I still have one. I couldn't get rid of that one because it was $7,000 in negative equity. It's horrible. So my plan is to just rent that thing till the wheels fall off. Um, so that's my plan on that car. But how many people have auto loans here? I'm just curious. Um, because I want to think that I'm gonna save somebody here from, even if it's picking up one more auto loan, or even if it's getting rid of a couple that you can. I would like to know. It would be super helpful. So let me know in the comments how many people have auto loans. Let me know if you have any questions. Um, if not, I'm I'll go ahead and close this out. I hope y'all found value in the content. All right, I'm back. I'm excited. All right, I'm ready to show y'all how to make some money. This is what I do. I teach people how to make money in the car rental space. Been doing it for 3 years. I focus solely on private rentals, man. Stay away from Turo. Um, Stay away from Turo as much as possible. It's going to be very hard to be profitable on Turo. Okay. My guy Aldi says I try to use FleetWire to set up automatic messages. Couldn't figure it out. Can you do a walkthrough on how to do messages automatically? I don't know if you can do automatic messages on there. I don't use FleetWire. I don't know if you can. Um, you should, bro. You should get Open Phone, because if you want to do messages, you can do automatic messages on Open Phone. Um, for me, I speak to my customers on Open Phone, um, specifically because it's more. There's more flexibility. There's a lot of automation you can do as opposed to the rental software. Um, so it's a little bit different from Turo, where you have everything in one place. On the private rentals, you don't have everything in one place, and maybe that's something we can talk about. Something I can figure out. Maybe you can find a solution for. But yeah, I use OpenPhone for automatic messages and things like that. Anything automation related to speaking with customers, OpenPhone is the way to go. I think it's like, I want to say it's $8 to $10 a month per user or something like that. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Hopefully that answered your question. It's a good question. Let me know if it did. Let me know if it did. Um, yeah, like I was saying, definitely join the Facebook group if you haven't already. If you're on this live and you learned something, drop it in the comments. Let me know what you learned. Let me know if this was helpful. Let me know if I saved you from an auto loan. Okay. Let me know if I saved you from an auto loan. Stay away from auto loans, guys. It's bad. There's a lot of bad banking products that are sold to us. Um, I'm not even going to get into that today. Even mortgages is another one. Mortgages are not good, but I'm not going to get into that. I care about cars, so I'll talk about auto loans. Stay away from them. Personal loans are personal loans, personal lines of credits, business credit cards, business lines of credits. If you can do business loans, even though it's a hard product to obtain, those are the best. Those are the best products to get. Okay, those are the best products to get. Anything with collateral. If you're gonna do anything with collateral, it should be asset based, not liability based. So, for example, a mortgage can be asset based if you're renting your house. Okay. So that can be asset based, but you have to be renting your house. If you live in that house, it's liability based, and that's not a good loan. Okay. A car is a liability, no matter how you look at it. Okay. So it's not gonna be a good loan. Okay. Now, if you have things like stocks and stuff like that, typically those will be good loans because they're asset based. They appreciate in value. Okay. So that's it from me. That's the end of my rant. Um, right. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments. Let me know if I saved anyone from an auto loan. I appreciate y'all for joining the live. I'll see y'all next week. Let's go.